Hey, this is a big week in our Love Like Jesus series because this weekend at both of our campuses, you just heard a major initiative of our church rolled out. We talked about fostering hope. Fostering hope is our church saying that we want to bring the hope of Christ to a broken system. This is a great week to talk about it because we see this really famous scripture about how Jesus loved people that's a lot of times kind of a joke because it's the shortest scripture in the Bible, right? It's Jesus wept. And so it's almost kind of turned into this weird, funny thing. It's like, oh, Jesus wept because it's two words and it's a verse. But listen, it's a really powerful verse because we see that one of the ways that we love people is by weeping with them. Is anybody else in here a fixer? I have a wife and I have 3 sisters-in-law. And so one of the things that I have learned as I've interacted with them is that they don't always want me to fix things. Sometimes they just want me to listen and feel with them. They want me to empathize. And that's powerful. And so here's what we can forget. In our attempt, good-natured, good intentioned attempt to fix things, we forget that Jesus didn't just fix things. He also sat with people in pain and brokenness, right? Could he have healed the dead right there in a moment? Absolutely. Why didn't he skip the crying part, right? I don't like to cry. I'm not really comfortable with emotion. And so if it was me in that space, I'd be like, let's not be sad. Let's just not have anything to be sad about. Look, let me fix it. But he didn't do that. Why? Because when we enter pain with people, something really powerful happens. We don't suffer alone. Listen, here's the reality of the broken world that we live in. There's always going to be pain. There's always going to be brokenness. Until Jesus comes back, there's going to be tragedy and suffering. That's what sin does, is it infects and it breaks and it hurts. We can't always fix it, but we can always meet people in their brokenness. And that's a lot of what we want to do with fostering hope, but that's not the only avenue for you to do that in your group. I mean, it's hard for us to know how to sit with people that are hurting sometimes. We don't live in a culture that necessarily teaches us how to do that or even always values it a whole lot. But Jesus cried with people who were hurting. And he does that with us now. And in Hebrews, it says he knows. He knows the sufferings that we have. He knows the trials that we have. He understands and he's there in that. But he's not the only one that's supposed to be there in that. We're supposed to be in that with each other. And so who do you cry with? Who do you sit with when they're hurting? What proximity do you have with suffering? Do you insulate yourself from it, like a cold that you might catch? Or do you love like Jesus and run towards people that are suffering and cry with them and hurt with them and step into brokenness as a presence of God in the lives of people that are hurting? And I really want you guys to think about the power of crying with this week.